Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Physics Tricks. So let's start with the kinematics DPP3. In this, I will solve 6 to 7 problems and next 6 to 7 problems I'll give it as a homework. Okay. So for the next 6 to 7 problems I'll give the hint, so don't worry about that. So see here, this is the first problem which we have in the DPP3, and that is the two ends of a train moving with uniform acceleration pass a certain point with velocities u and v. The velocity with which the middle point of a train passes the same point is. Okay, so two ends of a train, this is the train given, and the two ends of this train, this is the front end we can say, and this is the back end we can say. It passes through this point, okay, as it is traveling through a uniform acceleration. This end will pass through, let us consider, with a velocity u, and this end will pass through a velocity v. That is what it is given, right? Two ends, one passes through u and other one passes through v velocity. So we want what is the velocity of middle point, velocity of middle point. So this distance, if you consider x, then this distance must be x, right? This length is 2x we can consider for train. So for this x we have final velocity as vm, right? So for the first half of the train, final velocity is vm squared is equal to initial velocity u squared plus 2 into a into x we have. Now as it is moving with uniform acceleration, that is a constant acceleration, and we know that the equations of motions are valid for uniform, that is constant acceleration. So this is the equation number 1. Now likewise we can have for the next half of the train, the final velocity is v squared, which is equal to initial velocity is vm squared plus 2 into a into x we have. So this is the equation number 2. Now as you can see over here, we can write from first and second. See, vm squared minus u squared is 2x, and that 2x is nothing but v squared minus vm squared, isn't it? From 1 and 2 we can write vm squared minus u squared is equal to v squared minus vm squared. We want velocity with which this middle point travels, so 2 vm squared is equal to v squared plus u squared. So from this we can say vm is equal to root of v squared plus u squared divided by 2. So this is the vm value which we have. So that is the velocity with which the middle point of a train will travel. So I hope this is clear to you all. So this is the first question which we have, and answer for this is v squared plus u squared divided by 2 root. Next question. A point particle starting from rest has a velocity that increases linearly with time, and that velocity function is given v is equal to p into t. Here p is equal to given 4 meter per second squared, right? So if you just put it over here, we'll get v is equal to 4 into t, right? V is equal to 4 into t. We know that rate of change of velocity will give us the acceleration. So rate of change of velocity will give acceleration. So over here as you can see, acceleration we have a is equal to dv divided by dt, and that is d by dt of what is v, 4 into t, so which is equal to 4 times d by dt of time, so which is equal to 4 meter per second squared. 4 meter per second squared. So this is the acceleration which we have. Now once we know the acceleration, we can calculate the distance traveled, that is s is equal to ut plus half at squared. Now as the particle is starting from rest, so you can have u as 0, so half, what is a given, 4 into t squared we want in 2 seconds, so that is 2 squared, so which is 2 into 2 squared, that is 4 into 2, 8 meter. Now, as the particle is moving in a straight line with constant acceleration, whatever displacement of a body is there, that is exactly equal to the distance, and that is the reason we can say displacement over here is exactly equal to the distance. So you have to remember this whenever particle travels in a straight line without turning back, right? So I'll write this point over here. Note, whenever particle travels in a straight line without turning back, in this case we can say distance is exactly equal to the magnitude of displacement. Do remember this, right? And it is true only, right? Why? Because if particle is moving in a straight line and without turning back, indicates whatever distance is there, that is exactly equal to the magnitude of the displacement, isn't it? Okay, so next problem. A body starts from rest with a uniform acceleration. The acceleration of a body as a function of time t is given by a is equal to p into t. P is a constant. Then the displacement of a particle in the time interval t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 1 will be. Okay, so here acceleration as a function of time given. Here acceleration as a function of time given. So that acceleration is p into t. We know that acceleration is dv by dt, and that is equal to p into t, that is rate of change of velocity, we can say. So over here dv we have is equal to pt into dt we have. Now if you just integrate this, you will get integration dv is equal to integral pt into dt. Now you can calculate at time t is equal to 0, velocity is supposed to be 0. At time t is equal to t, velocity is v. So if you just calculate this, now this v is equal to p integral t dt from 0 to t. So we have the velocity v is equal to p t squared divided by 2 from 0 to t. So we have velocity as p t squared divided by 2. But they want the displacement, isn't it? They want the displacement. So displacement, rate of change of displacement is the velocity. So here ds by dt is equal to what is called as the velocity, and this pt squared divided by 2, just ds, that is what displacement is, pt squared divided by 2 into dt. Now integrate both sides. So displacement is equal to integral t squared divided by 2 into dt from 0 to t1, we can say. Now if you just integrate this, you will get s is equal to p divided by 2. What is the integration of t square by 2? It is t cube divided by 3 from 0 to t1. So if you just put the upper and lower limit, it is p by 6 into t1 cube. So we'll have 1 by 6 p t1 cube. So this is the displacement which we have, 1 by 6 pt1 cube. That is the option D is the correct option over here. Now next, if the relation between distance x and the time t is in the form given, here alpha and beta being appropriate constants are given, then retardation of the particle is. Okay, so this question we have is t is equal to alpha x squared plus beta x. Now what you have to do is you have to differentiate this time with respect to x. Differentiate with respect to x, then 1 divided by dx divided by dt is nothing but 1 divided by v, right? 1 divided by dx by dt is nothing but 1 by v, and this v you have to write as a function of x. Then differentiate that, then differentiate velocity. Differentiate velocity, you will get what is called as acceleration, and that acceleration you will get negative of some value, and that value is nothing but what? The retardation. So try to solve and comment your answer in the comment box, I'll reply as soon as possible. Chalo. So now fifth question. A car starts from rest, requires a velocity v with a uniform acceleration 2 meter per second squared. Then it comes to stop with a uniform retardation 4 meter per second squared. If the total time for which it remains in motion is 3 seconds, then the total distance traveled is. So over here, as you can see, this is the velocity, this is the time which we have, and initially it is moving with uniform acceleration, indicates 2 meter per second squared. It reaches the maximum velocity, and after that it retards with a acceleration or deceleration of 4 meter per second squared. This is the Vmax we have. So the time required for this is, let us suppose t, and this total time is given 3 seconds. So we can write 2 meter per second, that is the acceleration is equal to change in velocity, that is Vmax minus 0 divided by t minus 0. So Vm we have is 2 into capital T. Okay, now for the retardation, that is 4 is equal to Vm minus 0 divided by 3 minus t. So we have 12 minus 4t is equal to Vm. So we can write from this equation 1 and the equation 2, this is 12 minus 40 is equal to 2t. So what is the time t we have is 12 divided by 6, which is equal to 2 seconds. That indicates it accelerated for 2 seconds and decelerated for only 1 second. Now therefore we want what is called as Vmax first. Vm is equal to, we have 2 into 2, which is equal to 4 meter per seconds. Therefore distance travel is area under this graph, area under velocity time graph gives displacement, and as it is only the positive area, so distance is equal to magnitude of displacement. So 1 by 2, base we have is 3 into height we have is 4, so which is equal to 6 meter is the distance traveled by this car. Okay, so I hope this is clear, and yes, the important point that you need to remember in this is the area under velocity time graph gives displacement, and as here only positive area is there, so I hope positive area you all understands, right? Positive area indicates here V is positive in this direction now, and V is negative in this direction. So whenever this x-axis below is negative, above is positive. So as over here only positive area is there, is present, we have magnitude of displacement is equal to distance, So I hope this is clear now. Next question, sixth question. A stone is thrown vertically upward in air. The time of upward motion is t1 and the time of downward motion is t2. When air resistance is taken into consideration, then what is the relation between t1 and t2? When air resistance is not taken into the consideration, then we can directly write t1 is equal to t2. Why? Because time of ascent is exactly equal to time of descent. Now we have to consider the air resistance. Now see, air resistance, right? Air resistance will always acts in the direction opposite to the motion of a body. Now when the ball is thrown upward, the air resistance will act downward, gravity will act downward, so G and A will act downward only. So the time of ascent we have is equal to, we can write root of 2h divided by g effective. G effective is g plus a, we can write. Okay, no problem. Now when it is coming down, a gravity will act downward, but the air resistance will act upward. So g effective is g minus a. We have to write time of descent we have is root of 2h divided by g minus a. Now tell me which one is greater over here. Yes, which one is greater? TD is greater than TA, or else TA is lesser than TD. Now why I wrote this? Because g plus a is greater than g minus a, isn't it? G plus a is greater than g minus a, and greater in the denominator indicate that term is lesser, है ना? That term is lesser, so it is given upward motion is T1, so T1 is lesser than T2, or we can write T2 is greater than T1. Both are same only. T1 is lesser than T2, and it is given in option B. Whenever air resistance is not there, this is not there, right? Air resistance is not there, then T1 is equal to T2. If air resistance is there, then T1 is lesser than T2. So I hope this is clear now. Next question. A particle starts from rest with a constant acceleration for 20 seconds. If it travels a distance y1 in the first 10 seconds and a distance y2 in the next 10 seconds, then what is the relation between y1 and y2? So over here, a particle travels with a uniform acceleration. Acceleration is constant given. It travels a distance y1 for the first 10 seconds and y2 for the next 10 seconds. Now what you have to do is, y1 is the distance, is equal to, write down the equation ut plus half at square. U is 0, so put t as 10 seconds and write down, then y1 plus y2 is equal to 1 by 2 a into, you have to write over here t square. Instead of t squared, you have to write 20 now. Why 20? Because 10 plus 10, y1 plus y2 you considered. Now make some relation between y1 and y2 and try to solve for y1 is to y2, that is y1 divided by y2, and you will get 1 by 3, 3 by 1, or whatever it is. Just check it once, and that ratio is called as the Galileo's ratio, that will come in the theory part. But yes, you can solve this very easily if you know these two equations. Okay, so this is the hint we have. Try to solve this and answer your answer right in the comment box. Next, a train starts from station with an acceleration 1 meter per second squared. A boy who is 48 meters behind the train with a constant velocity 10 meter per second. Minimum time after which the boy will catch the train. So this is the boy. This is the train, which is moving with 1 meter per second squared. Boy is moving with 10 meter per second. This distance is 48 meter given. So this train will move through distance of x supposed to be, and this boy has to travel a distance of 48 plus x. So write down this one, x as 1 by 2 at squared, and this 48 plus x as 10 into t, because time is same at which they are meeting, right? So put this x value over here, you will get one quadratic equation, and from that quadratic equation you will get two roots. Minimum value of time is the answer, right? So this is 8th one. 9th one, a particle moves 200 centimeter in the first 2 seconds, 220 centimeter in the next 4 seconds with uniform acceleration. Over here the same thing, acceleration, deceleration, same thing. Over here this is given 200 centimeter in the first 2 seconds and 220 centimeter in the next 4 seconds. So you have to consider s is equal to ut plus half at squared for first 2 seconds and next 6 seconds. Okay now, so you have to write 200 is equal to u into 2 plus 1 by 2 a into 2 squared, right? 200 centimeter given, so convert it into meter, 10 to the power minus 2. Likewise 220, like 420 we have, right, into 10 to the power minus 2 is equal to u into 6, you have to write, plus half a into 6 squared. Now two equations, two unknowns, you can easily find out. Next, the velocity of a particle at an instant is 10 meter per second. After 3 seconds its velocity becomes 16 meter per second. The velocity at 2 seconds before the given instant. Okay, so at t is equal to supposed to be 2 seconds, we have 2 meter per second, and after 3 seconds its velocity becomes 16, means at t is equal to 5 seconds its velocity is 16 meter per second. The velocity 2 seconds before, that means t is equal to 0. What is its velocity? That is what we have to calculate. So see here, you can calculate the acceleration over here, right? V, u, and whatever the time is acceleration. Once you calculate the acceleration, find out the initial velocity by using v is equal to u plus 80. It is simple only. Likewise, 11th one, a stone is thrown vertically upward from the cliff. So this is the cliff given. It is thrown upward with some velocity 5 meter per seconds. So it will go up, it will come down. So use S is equal to displacement is initial point and the final point one, right? Displacement in the downward direction. So S is equal to ut plus half at squared. Everything you know, you can calculate the displacement. And the last question, a stone is released from a hydrogen balloon going upward. Okay, so this is the hydrogen balloon which we have. Now from this one stone is released. When stone is released, that means that stone will acquire the velocity of that balloon. So it is in upward direction, that is 12 meter per second. So this stone will go up, then it will come down. The time the stone will take to reach the ground, so it is 65 meter. From the 65 meter it is thrown. So you have to use S is equal to ut plus half at squared. Same formula. Use it, try to find out the time and comment your answer in the comment box.